Good evening and welcome again here on Bridges of Light on our English only speaking with our only English speaking audience. Today we have a beautiful soul that I had the pleasure of meeting some times ago in Glastonbury. You know, I always spoke to you about Glastonbury because I've been training as a medium in Glastonbury for many years. But today we have Daisy Foss. Hi Daisy, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Hi, Gaetano. I know it's so many years now, isn't it? It's wonderful.
Yes, I'm so glad that you accepted my invitation to be here on Bridges of Light today, because I felt like, many people could benefit out of your experience and actually, the things that you do. So actually introduce yourself a little bit and tell us actually what is that you do, because I know that you do wonderful work with angels. Not only that, but also you actually work with the sacred sites in Glastonbury, which are amazing. You know, Glastonbury is all about also Archangel Michael who is my guide. So just tell us a little bit about your work.
Okay, well, bless you. Thank you. I work with angels and have done for many years. I'm a healer. That's my number one gift, is healing, sending out healing, and being able to care and be there for anyone who asks. So the healing has taken, I've been doing this now for 21 years, nearly 22, and I work with Merlin, the avatar, the ascended master who transforms, and he has very deep roots in Glastonbury. So he is wonderful. And with Merlin, I also work with the angels, 7 different angelic realms to date. So lots and lots of angels. It's wonderful. I am doing an 11 minutes past 11 every day on Facebook for people who are finding it really difficult to feel, to understand what's going on. So we bring these angels through, and it's really lovely. So and Glastonbury, I love Glastonbury. I've been here now for a while, and
you know, when while there was the COVID, the lockdown here in Italy that has been since the beginning of March, we then at Bridges of Light decided that we want to open the programs all day long, so people could actually, rather than watching TV where everything was bad news, then people could kind of find the space for them and to get them to relax and to learn more things, more spiritual things. So our audience has really grown ever since, because we've been like with the people all the time, and it has been a great thing for us to do. So do tell us a little bit about your background. You said that you work as a healer and that with the angels. I think you have also published a set of cards, right?
Yes, I have. I met Merlin in 1999. I quickly went to Egypt, where on these sacred journeys, and I went into the Great Pyramid, and that's where I met the Angels of Awakening, the year 2000, 2003, 4, 5, 6, right through to 2011 was my last big trip. And these angels are just wonderful. They are so fabulous. I work very much with the angels of the Elohim as well. And the angels of the Elohim are the angels most people have heard of. The Archangel Michael, who is very prevalent here in Glastonbury. So Michael and Mary and Shamuel, the Archangel Raphael. So all of the healing angels are around the centre where I work from, and it's an angelic healing space which we've made in the centre of Glastonbury, and it is so lovely.
Yes, I have been to your place because it's also B&B, and it's an amazing space where as soon as you go in, you feel this amazing angelic energy, which is just like in the middle of Glastonbury. It's just like one of the most amazing center which I've visited many times. I remember I also took my group in 2014.
Yes.
We went to Cornwall together, and then we just experienced some stuff at Tintagel. So tonight we're going to speak about the sacred sites of Glastonbury. Do tell me why Glastonbury is so precious and so full of amazing energy.
Well, the major focal point is Glastonbury Tor, and Glastonbury Tor is known as the island of Avalon because in the 14th, 15th century, before there was an earthquake, the water came right up to the Tor space, and so above town hall there was the land, and where I live now, that was all underwater. But then we had a earthquake, and the waters receded out to the coast, which is about 30 minutes away now, and so Glastonbury itself has grown through the Tor, has 50 ley lines going through it. I have a map of the ley lines, I'll show you in a minute, and we have an abbey. The abbey was the abbey. It was the biggest abbey in the whole of Europe, the most wealthiest, and it is just stunning. It's right in the centre of the town, and it used to, when it was in its glory, it would take care of everybody in the surrounding areas. Everybody benefited from the energy of the abbey, and of course that sacred energy really grew. But it grew in the abbey along with Chalice Whirl and with the Red Spring, the White Spring, and there are other spaces, sacred places like.
You know, Daisy, I have a university degree in English literature and history, and my thesis was on Henry VIII. When I discovered that the abbey was destroyed by Henry VIII, I was completely kind of taken back, because that was very kind of resonating with my energy as well. So. Yeah.
And so what's left now are the ruins. But when it was first built, it was built over the site where the very first old church that Joseph of Arimathea, which is Jesus's uncle, he built the very first church in Glastonbury, and it was known then as the Isle of Glass. So Glastonbury is the Isle of Glass, and the church that was originally it was just mud and sticks, daub and wart, and that church is where the Lady Chapel is now, and the Lady Chapel it has got the well still there in the ruins, but the ruins are, you can see that it was 3 stories high, and the kitchen, the abbot's kitchen, has been restored, so you can go in and see how the monks lived. And of course, it was such an incredible space, but it was only men. It was all men. The only ladies that were there were the washer ladies or the very rich dignitaries, the queens, and they would go. But wow. Yes, Henry VIII, he wanted to destroy all the churches, and he did. But the ruins are still today. They are people come and they're still supporting the town. It's beautiful. Everyone who lives here has a special place for the abbey and the grounds.
It's a shame that you cannot show us around. Next time we will do. No, really. Yes, next time we can do a show with your phone, yes. And you can show things around, because that would be like an amazing thing. I was taking a group over in. At the end of April for Beltane, and of course then because of all this that was cancelled, but we will come for sure next year. So people that are actually joining us today, they will meet you, and because then you agreed with us to do some shows on Bridges of Light, the English side. So we for sure we will have you more and more here. Yes.
I remember going to Tintagel with your group. It was such fun, wasn't it? We went.
Yes, it was amazing. We went to the Merlin Cave there too, and we did see that amazing energy there as well. So it was really, really, really great.
And then we went to St Nectan's Glen, and through the forest and up to the waterfall. It was a highlight of my year. That
really. The lady who is watching us, Fausta. I met her actually at the beginning of the year. Thank God I decided to go. I went to do this amazing. I went to on this amazing spiritual trip to Cambodia.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. And I met this lady who then we clicked so much, and she's now watching you. She was supposed to come to Glastonbury as well. So, so do tell us a little bit about the ley lines. Can you please tell us what I know, but I mean, for the audience possibly that do not know, what are the ley lines? And I feel that I think if I'm not wrong, the ley lines in Glastonbury are like intersection with the energy of Michael and Mary Magdalene. Is that so?
That's correct, yes. Ley lines are like rivers of energy. And the first river of energy comes in from the galaxy. They are the Galactic Ley Lines. Then they go all the way around the world, and that is the synchronic ley lines. Then they come through the ley lines on the planet, and they literally crisscross around. And then from those ley lines, they go into microlines, and from the microlines into your divine lines, the vital web that's in your body. So this energy flows through all of these lines, and the ley lines that go into the land, they can be very small or they can be very big. And they are real rivers of energy. So the Michael line, this is the main blue masculine, divine masculine line, comes in from the Apollo line across Europe, across Greece, and it comes in through France to England, St. Michael's Mount, and then it comes up through England to Glastonbury. And then at Glastonbury Tour, there's 50 ley lines that literally come through the tour. I have a bottle of water here. This is Glastonbury water. So the ley lines come up and they literally go out and then back in again through the land. And the water is phenomenal. I have this map here to show you. And the Michael line is the divine masculine, and it goes in a very straight line. You may or may not be able to see it. And the Mary line is the one that wiggles round it. But there's the Albion line, there's the Apollo, the Venus line. They are just phenomenal. Can you
show it to us, please?
Can you see how many?
Yeah, look how many lines. Oh my God.
Fantastic. I have to sneak over the top there.
Yeah.
And so, and in the Daisy Centre where I live, the Michael line literally comes through the house. It comes from Weary All Hill, where Joseph of Arimathea, he landed when he came to Avalon for the first time. He arrived and landed at Weary All Hill. That's how it's got its name. And Weary All, they stayed there until they were rested. And the ley line comes from Weary All Hill through to the town where we are, and the Michael line goes right the way through the Abbey, right up to the Tour, and the Madonna line just wiggles round it. But the Albion line goes straight through the High Street. So when you're here in the Daisy Centre, you're experiencing the Michael line. We have a room called the Michael Room, which when people are there, oh my goodness me, it really does.
Well, I was left in that room many times.
You have.
I would like to know about the Chalice Wells. Do tell us, or to the audience really, I hear that in the Chalice Wells itself is buried the Holy Grail.
Well, it's one of the legends of Glastonbury. So one of the legends is that King Arthur is buried with Guinevere in the Abbey, and in the Chalice Well, the Holy Grail is there as well. There are lots of secret gifts at Chalice Well, and of course the Abbey is in the centre of the town because there's 3 energy rings. There's the outer ring, which is coming in through the bypass, so that's out by the B&Q roundabout, so on its way from Pompali's Bridge, Bridie's Mound. That's the outer ring. And then you have the inner ring, which is the town. and then you have the central ring, which is the Chalice Well and the Tor. So that's the epicenter of these 50 ley lines. It's a very big circle. So it's like at Stonehenge and at Avebury, you have 3 rings, 1, 2, 3, and at the Great Pyramid, all sacred sites have those 3 rings of energy. So the Chalice Well is between the town and the Tor, and it is fantastic. It was made by I've forgotten his name. Oh, I know it so well. Tudor Pole, and they have had pageants there. It's been there since the early 1920s, and it has the waters, the white water comes through the white spring, and the red water comes through the Chalice Well. So it's got iron in it, and it's the divine feminine, and so it's the balance. They have this amazing fountain that's the balance of the male and female.
Beautiful.
And its symbol is the Vesica Piscis, you know, the spirit and form coming together. So that, to me, is the Holy Grail, when you have the balance of the male and the female. And the water is very iron, but it's very, very good for you. You only need a tiny amount. We have visitors who come and they buy really big bottles and go, how can I get this to my home? And it's like a homeopathy. You just need a little bit, and then you add it to your water. So a tiny bit added to your water, and then that becomes Glastonbury water. And so the white one is it's calcium, and that's the divine masculine, and the red one is iron in the Chalice Well, and that's divine feminine. And when you bring them together, you have the pink water. So the white and the pink, and that's the balance of the two, the Vesica Piscis, the start of the flower of life, of course. So the Chalice Well and they have cress fields, they have this waterfall going through, but they have the most beautiful flowers. You've been there, Gaetano.
Many times. I've been there, meditated there, I'm meditating by the well, as I was meditating, there were all these birds around. It was just beautiful.
But the smell of the flowers, they have really ancient flowers, Old English, and just beautiful, beautiful.
Sorry?
They have concerts there in the summertime.
Of course. I want to ask you a strange question. I do not know whether you are willing to reply to that, but I just came to mind. And when I take people there, I tell them, look, the people in Glastonbury dress up in a very, very strange way. So sometimes I feel like we are still at medieval times, because they are all dressed like that. Why do you think people dress up like that? I mean, they don't dress up, they just dress like that. But why do you think, and only in Glastonbury I've found that?
Because I think in Glastonbury, you are given permission to be yourself. And because there are so many layers to Glastonbury, like I mentioned, there's the 3 rings of energy, but there's also 7 stratas of dimensional energy. And so you have the goddesses who are on one level, you have the fairies on another, you have the angels, you have the pilgrimages, you have the Catholics, you have the Druids, and all of these people, they are themselves. So the fairies walk around like fairies, the Druids walk around like Druids, and the goddesses are goddesses, and then we have conferences during the year that we have a zombie walk, and we have a fairy ball, and we have the angel conference, we have the ET conference as well. So these people are here being themselves. And yes, I've sat in a cafe and just watched a dragon walk past. And so that was somebody expressing themselves. But
of course, I love to come there and sit in a cafe and just kind of watching the people go by, because you see all sorts of people, all sorts of different people, and it's just like an amazing parade. Just sit there and watch the people go by. And of course, Glastonbury is also full of shops. Most of them sell the same things, and I do not know how then they survive, especially in this crisis, but there are always loads and loads and loads of people like tourist hotels and B&B are always full of fully booked for months and months and months. Why do you think is that phenomenon? Because of the energy there?
Yes, very, very much, because the energy is the magnification of the heart. This is the heart chakra. And so as it's the heart chakra of the world, and the world is the heart chakra of the universe, it does bring in energies from all over. And so people are like a magnet. They come because once you've been here, you know that you can be yourself, that you can experience. It opens your heart as well. It really, really allows you to be your truth. And so, I have clothes that I wear in Glastonbury, and when I have a very big healing clinic in London, and I have my Glastonbury clothes and my London clothes. Yeah. And when we come here, the shops that are here, I came here first over 22 years ago, and I still have the books and the crystals that I bought then, because they are my tools. They are what I use, what I work with. I have my aquamarine here. She is beautiful.
Oh, yes.
And it's not the sort of thing you get in Brixton High Street. No. Or Barnes High Street. So when people come here, they expect to find the wands, the peace candles, the things that help them in their spiritual journey. And we have a saying here: you can't buy socks, but you can buy yourself a wand of truth.
Yeah. Do you have any other crystals that you can show us?
Oh yes, I can show you Tanzania Esmeriel. These are the very first ones. So this one is the very first one that I bought in Chalice Whirl. I'd walked all the way around the town. I'd had breakfast in the B&B I was staying in. It was Shambhala. It was on the tour. And this lady had said to me, "Oh, this crystal is so beautiful. Can you see the sparkles?" Yes, I'd never bought a crystal, so I went to look at it in Chalice Whirl, but I thought, that's the first one. I can't just buy the very first one. It's very expensive. So I walked all the way around the tour. I went to every single crystal shop. I went to, Louis from Stonehenge. And I looked at his crystals, and he said hello, and I went back to Chalice Whirl and I bought this, and it's a apophyllite. It is so beautiful. And I was washing it in King Arthur's court in the water, in the sacred water. And Louis is sitting on the bench, and he said, "Oh, you bought one of my crystals," because he supplied the shop.
Louis is actually going to be in our show soon too. So.
Oh, fantastic! Yes, I said I was talking to you, and he said to send you his love.
Yeah.
And then this one is a clear black quartz, which I got just recently, about 4 years ago.
A clear black quartz?
A black quartz. Isn't that amazing?
I've never heard of that.
I know. It's just fabulous. And of course, it's the consort for this is Esmeriel and this is Tanzaniel. These are the Atlantean angels that come through. Because I work with angels, and the angels can come through crystals easily. I have the rose quartz. You remember in my garden, I have a 3-foot high rose quartz. This is one of the. It's a piece that is connected to her, which I use in my healing. And we have the little angels. Remember these?
Yeah, I've got plenty of those in my life.
The pocket angels, and this is how we have them in our pocket all the time, because this is your guardian angel bringing heaven to earth. The crystals. These other ones here. These are all my healing crystals. This is my vortex one, and this has actually got Merlin in it. I had no idea, but working with it over 20 years, it now has an inclusion which looks like Merlin. So that's the clear quartz, which we hold like this.
Yeah.
And then this one is the selenite, which the angels come through. So these are two beautiful cathedral.
Can you see my selenite here on the back? Look.
You have. Ah, fantastic. Yes, I can see the selenite sphere.
The selenite that is like in the shape of the Thor.
Yes, I can see.
It's like 5 kilos of selenite. I bought it at Louis. It's huge.
And it's what brings the angels through.
Yeah.
The selenite. I have a selenite wand. I'm sitting on it.
I got selenite all over me here. Not here just specifically, but yes.
Here's my wand. This is the wand we use for Sword of Truth to to cut the cords with Archangel Michael.
Exactly, I got the same, just exactly the same.
And this is the sphere, the calcite sphere. Absolutely beautiful big crystal. So these are all working here. We all our crystals are doing their jobs. And of course, that's one of the things people come to Glastonbury for, to see the crystals, to work with the crystals, to learn about the crystals. It's just one of the tools we can teach you about the essences. We can teach you about the angels. We can
go ahead.
We can teach you how to be yourself. It's not teaching you how, it's allowing you to have the space to be yourself, to dress how you want to.
We have decided that you're going to do like possibly 2 shows a month here on Bridges of Light. And are you going to talk only about crystals, about angels, or about crystals and other things?
Well, my teaching is about Merlin. I teach them how Merlin can transform. Merlin, of course, has his dragon. So when we talk about Merlin, we also talk about the dragon healing energy. So, and along with Merlin and the dragon come the fairies. And then with the angels, we have, again, the angels and Merlin working very closely. But we have so many realms of angels. It's not just the Elohim. It's the Malachim, the Elim, the cherubim, the seraphina, all of the different realms. And then, crystals. And we do lots of different things here. Sacred geometry is my thing. I love.
Really? Oh, tell us about that.
Well, sacred geometry is the sacred geometry is the blueprint of your physical being. So it's how your heart opens, how your chakras open, and the flower of life. It starts like this. This is the seed of life. You can see the black and white again. I'm working with the seed of life and the black and white. So this is the center of the flower of life. Here's the flower of life. This is just the flower of life. And there's 13 little spheres in that. And each one of them has this at the center of it. And this is how I see your heart opening. It's the 6 petals open at the front and at the back. And then it goes on to, have we got the matrix? So the flower of life, it's a fantastic, when you know how, that's how the angels come through. That's where all the symbols are, the arm, the ank of life. Here it is. This is the, you see?
A little bit over here, yeah.
There.
Amazing, beautiful.
It's very shiny. Yeah, you can't really see that. We'll have to show you. We'll have to put a picture on. But it is the flower of life and the whole grid. Which.
So let me take you just by surprise, Daisy.
Okay. I like that. You know that. What are you going to say next?
For you to give us a reading of some sort?
Or for me to give you a reading?
Not to me, but to me, but not on personal level. I mean, can you read the aura? Can you do something for us to have our audience? We have some people watching us. Do you have anything that you could tell us psychically or spiritually, or?
Well, what I can tell you what the angels have told me for today and for this next week.
Yeah, see what the angels have told you to be with me this afternoon on Bridges of Light.
Well, they told me absolutely a yes. I've moved heaven and earth to be here tonight. I had so many other things happening, as you know. And because it's the start of the summer solstice week, we started it actually on Sunday. And the energy is really building. Mars, the Egyptian, and Venus is really in there. Jupiter, all of the planets are really, and Mercury goes direct on Thursday, on the 18th, ready for the 19th, which is the eve of the solstice. This summer solstice is going to be amazing.
We are going to have a worldwide show, connecting with Dubai with a lady who does something, and I'm doing something in Italy, and we have people from all over the world.
So that's on the 19th. I'm working here in Glastonbury. At 7 p.m. we are working here with Soul and Spirit, the magazine. So that's going to be right across the world.
Oh, wow.
And in the then on the actual solstice itself on the 20th, we're going to sneak. We're going to see if we can sneak to Avebury, because Avebury has the dragon waking up. The Avebury landscape is in the shape of a dragon, and every 7 years dragons all come together. The Glastonbury dragons, the dragons from all over the world. Every town, every sacred space has its own dragon in the earth, within its landscape. And these dragons, they all come together, and the Avebury dragon is the leader. It takes the karmic stuff in the earth. You know, when we say, oh, we're just going to let it go and send it to the earth. Well, it all goes into the earth, and the dragon breathes it in, it gets it, and it breathes it out into the cosmos. And then it breathes it, the new pure potential of the cosmic energy back into the earth, filling the earth with this new pure potential. And it does that 3 times at sunrise. And we're going to see if we can be there.
Oh, wow.
I was there in 2006 and 2013. This will be my 3rd go. And if we can't, we'll do it from Glastonbury with the Glastonbury dragon.
Because you remember, we also went together to Stonehenge.
We did.
Yes.
We did. Yeah. So Stonehenge, because of COVID, is shut, and we have been asked not to go to big gatherings. But we hope to do a Facebook Live secret. Now that I've told the whole of the world, it might not be so. But at sunrise, we will find somewhere where we can connect with the dragon.
Send us some pictures here of Bridges of Light.
Yes, that would be lovely. And then on the 21st for sunrise, we will be on the tour. Again, a live. Yeah, but the beauty of it is Gaetano, is that we've been waiting for this moment. You know, in the winter solstice in 2019, the energy then was really building, and I kept saying to everybody that was listen, it's going to be an amazing year. It's going to be so incredible. The summer solstice is, our karma is going to be resolved. We are going to be so different afterwards. And I didn't know there was going to be a little virus, so it's no good asking me for your insights. I can just tell you it's going to be good, but I didn't know there was going to be a virus. So it has changed the world. It's just
completely
upside down. And it's that reset, it's that coming together, the merging of all the dimensions. They are really coming together now. All the ley lines, the cosmic lines, the synchronic lines, the galactic lines are all coming together. And we are changing. We're changing into Homo Luminous. Really, really lovely.
Before you read the cards or you give us a little reading, there is a guy here who is asking you, Bassam from Abu Dhabi, is asking you, who is the angel of prosperity?
Oh, I would say the angel of prosperity. I would say it is Ariel would be the first one, but I would say Metatron or Melchizedek.
I actually thought about Ariel myself.
Yes, because Ariel is the obvious, but if you have Metatron and Melchizedek, then you are bringing in the abundance for all, on all levels. So I would not have separation and just say one. I would bring in a group of angels. I had to think about that then, because prosperity and abundance, it's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, exactly.
So you mentioned at the beginning that I have 2 card sets. I have one which is the lessons of love, life and creation, and the other set is the wishes, the angel wishes. So I will. Is this for one person or for this evening?
It's for this evening.
Okay, so now I have to.
I can't allow you. I can't ask you to do me a reading in front of all these people. So not really.
We will do it another time, Gaetano.
Yeah.
So the card I've just pulled. So this is the cards of the Angels of Awakening, Lessons of Love, Life, and Creation, and this is the first photograph that we took, and it is we are all equal in divine oneness. It is the angel's message of oneness. So the universal lesson of life that it is oneness. And this is from the Vatican, so this is from the church.
Okay.
And you can see the light and the dark. And so we are coming out of this darkness into the light. We are really bringing the energy of the Tanzaniel angel and the Esmeriel, the black creation, the black space of the void, bringing the light into the divine feminine, which is Esmeriel, and this is the pink flame of love. So by coming out of the darkness into the light, this is oneness, that we are all equal, that we are all oneness, and that is so lovely, because your Bridges of Light is exactly that, isn't it?
Yes.
And on the back we have the same card. I have the same emblem on the back of the card. So that is most certainly the best card for the angels to pull. We always do these in threes. So the next one is charity. Charity is an open-hearted gesture of kindness, sharing what you have. And this is a universal law of creation. So again, by having that oneness and that charity and that open-heartedness, that's what will help us to reset, to really go forward. And this is the last one. No, better. Polarity. Polarity is the balance of all things. So again, there is the angel just stepping forward in a balanced, harmonious way. And that is the message from the angels for tonight, for us to be balanced, to be harmonious. You know, it's male and female, yin yang, alpha and omega. It's bringing that energy and polarity together so that we can be in oneness. It's so important at this time to drop the judgments. There's so much judgment, so last century, so last.
Yes, true. Yeah, and actually our mission, I don't know whether you've read it, but our mission on Bridges of Light is actually to bring people together, you know, in order for together to grow and to empower ourselves to kind of bridge communities, building bridges to many communities and multi-levels also, not just one dimension, but multi-dimensionally. So really, that is our mission for us to grow and go forward. We have a question from the audience. There is a lady who's asking, is there any connection between each stone and each zodiacal sign?
Yes, there is. Can I just go back to the Bridge of Light? I think it's amazing what you're doing. I am so, my angels, they're fizzing. The fountain of light is just, it's like being on something that is so special, and it's like it's unfolding. It's something that's perfect of its time. We are resetting, we are realigning, and this bridge, this holding out the hand, the sharing, it's all about coming from the heart, from a space of authenticity, of realness, you know, real friendships. We've known each other for a long time now, and you know, you called me and there was no question. It was like, yeah, of course. So we wish you, and the angels are saying that this is such a fabulous thing. So wonderful, well done, and thank you for setting this up. So the lady who wants to know, are crystals connected to zodiacs? Yes, they are, but they are, again, it depends on whose opinion it is, because they have been linked to different crystals, to different signs. The crystals are millions of years old, and it's a bit like, is this crystal a birth sign? You know, an amethyst, is an amethyst for an Aquarius? Is this for a Cancer or a Sagittarius or a Gemini? You know, they were made up by different generations. The crystals themselves are millions of years old, so they will all connect with a star sign. They will all bring in the light. They will all work. So I don't connect them necessarily with the stars.
I totally agree with you, actually.
Yeah, because if you say one, then someone goes, oh, well, I read it was this, and I don't believe you now. Whereas actually, you know, the energy comes in through the crystals, aligned with all the stars.
Like, I do not know whether you agree or not about what I'm going to say also, because there are books, for instance, that tell you and I don't believe in that because I don't think. But there are books that tell you what is your guardian angel accordingly to when you were born. So, like all the people that were born at my birthday or just like my month, they're all like the same guardian angel, which I totally disagree. But people had to believe to something anyway, and also to name the angels. I also, from my studies and my researches, I've actually found that because the angels have told me that they don't have a frequency of names like you are Daisy, I'm Gaetano. There is no name because there is no frequency of such a thing up there. So really, why do we need names? Just because we are human and we need to know names about everything, but really it's not. It's
my understanding, Gaetano, is that it's the beginning of the journey. So at the beginning of the journey, you do need to feel safe, and you do need to know who is my guardian angel, what is their name. And so it's the beginning, the ABC. But when you are going along your journey and you have you've learnt that there is much more, many layers, many dimensions. And I also find, this crystal, I call her Marina, but when I asked her name, she said her name was Achsh. And I said, I can't say that. Achsh. I won't remember that. And that was nearly 20 years ago. And so she calls herself Achsh, but I call her Marina. And she's absolutely beautiful. This one, when I went to a crystal workshop, and the facilitator, he said, what's your crystal's name? And I thought, I've never named my crystal. So, but I'd taken this one to every temple, every pyramid, everywhere on my spiritual journey, every class. And every time I was there, I would say, oh, where's my crystal? Oh my goodness, have I got my crystal? What am I doing with my crystal? So when I'm sitting in his class and he says to me, what is the name? I asked my crystal, I said, what is your name? And there was silence. And then I looked at it and it just laughed and it said, it's crystal, silly. So I think you can know that there is many ways, and of course now that I know that this Marina is called Achsh. This is light language. I do light language. I don't know if you do yourself, but when we go deep into meditation, then the light language just arises, and you can have light language from any planet, any star, any angelic realm, and it's another language. My mother would say it's gobbledygook. Oh, that's rubbish. But my grandchildren do it. My grandchildren talk to me in light language. I have 5 grandchildren. My youngest one, Frank, he is 1 year old. On the 21st of June, he came in last year on that 21st of the summer solstice. Wow. As it came in, he was born, and he talks to me in light language. His mum said, "Oh, he's just making noises." It's like, no, he's talking to me.
So, Daisy, we are going to go. I just want to ask you, what are the workshops that you teach?
I teach the workshops on crystals, the beginners, because I don't know about the sizes or the grams or anything. It's just, what is a crystal? What does it do? I teach the Elohim angels. What
are the Elohim angels? Can you tell us, please, briefly?
So you have Raphael, Michael, Shamuel, Uriel, Jophael, Zadkiel, and Metatron and Melchizedek, Sandalphon, Ariel, Haniel. These are all of the. They all have a different quality, and they all have different places they come from: the north, south, east, west. So that's what we teach you in the basic angel class. But then I have the healing of the wounded healer, which is your Egyptian past life. I used to take groups to Egypt every year. And so we do the healing here in Glastonbury. I spoke, Nefertiti came through one day and said, you don't have to be in Egypt to be in Egypt. Do your classes here in Avignon. So that's another Egyptian healing, the wounds of the Egyptian healer, because most of us have had past lives in Egypt, and that's still flowing through our DNA. And that's what's so interesting about the virus, because it's the virus that is almost ending that past life connection to that those hurts. You know, it's amazing what's happening with that. So yes, my workshops can be anything. I have workshops for those who feel abused and misunderstood. So you know, you want me to talk to you about something and give you a class, just tell me and I'll do it.
Yes. So now, what going back, we're going to have, I was just taken about the Egyptians, because we're going to have, I'm going to interview an Egyptologist next week on Bridges of Light, and she's a lady from Egypt, and she's also talk about the esoteric kind of meanings of the statues in Egypt anyway, and also she also brings group over, so I'm going to interview her next week. But lately also with me, I come from Lemuria. I've got this very strong Lemurian kind of feeling, and I've got my Lemurian crystal. But lately, when I've been to Dubai, because I've been working there a lot, there is this very strong guide that has come through so strongly. Each time he comes through, then it is because he helps me with my healing, and it's the sun god Ra.
Yes.
And of course, he's the Egyptian sun god. So he's very strongly connected with me, and I do a lot of healing with him as well. So I'm really always very I'm sweating and I'm so hot when I do his healing. And so that's why why do you think that these Egyptian gods and goddess are coming back just now, around this period?
Because the cellular memory is very strong, and the first hurts. So the Lemurian culture was when we were seeded by the beings who came from Lemuria, and the Atlantean culture was many seeds. 12 tribes came to this planet, and they became the Atlanteans, and so they also left the planet. The Merkaba exploded, and then the next culture was the Egyptian culture, and they put everything in stone so that it would be able to be recognized and remembered. And so that's why we have more affinity, because it's the last one of the three big cultures that those who are here who remember it. It's the Egyptian lifetime, and there were three kingdoms, and I've been taking groups there for over 20 years now. I actually have Akhenaten in literally in my. Do you want to see him? I just showed the camera. There he is. There we go. Can you see him?
Oh, wow, yes.
Okay.
Wow, yes.
Akhenaten is the one god, the first monolithic god. And he was the god who brought in the pharaoh who believed that the sun was all life, and he said that all the other gods, the old gods, their time had passed now. It was time now to be connected to the earth and to the sun. And so the old gods were Isis and Osiris, and their son Horus. Hathor was also Horus's consort. There was Anubis and Sekhmet. Sekhmet is the I love Sekhmet. Sekhmet, and I have an absolute affinity, and as I do with Akhenaten as well. And so these gods are here to remind us of our first hurts,
right,
of our wounds, and the understanding of the energies of, Mart, the goddess Mart. Amazing. Just beautiful. Hathor, when the Hathors, they come from Venus. Yes. When they sing, it is so beautiful. And you don't just have to be in Egypt to hear the Hathors. You can call them in at any time.
Yes.
So when we take people to the temples, it really, really opens their hearts and opens their energies. But that's what happens in Glastonbury as well, because it's a sacred space. It is a place where your cellular memory can connect to that priestess energy that was either the priest of Avalon, or of Lemuria, or of Atlantis. So, you know, and we have modern day priests and priestesses. They're called light workers. So it is very much to connect with the Egyptian history, to be able to remember, to clear, and of course the wisdom from the temples is the flower of life.
Yes.
It is the sacred geometry.
Amazing. You know, each time I come to Glastonbury, I would never want to leave because it is always very short. You know, I've been studying, I do not know, I'm sure, yes, you do know Sally Ballinger because we did an event with you as well. I've been studying with her for like 15, 17 years, and I would come to Glastonbury once a month. But then, you know, each time I leave Glastonbury, it's always like, you know, so melancholic I am. But yet, when I'm there, my heart gets completely full of love, which is like an amazing thing. So I actually encourage all the people that are watching us to go to Glastonbury and experience this amazing energy, because it's just like where the heart chakra of the planet is.
And it's the music as well. We are known for the Glastonbury Festival.
Yeah.
That's 12 miles outside of our town. It's in Pilton. But the heart of the music here is, again, it's that music. My husband plays the harmony and the hang drum. He plays with Louis in the Alchemist of Sound. And we do sound healing. We do angelic activation. So angelic crystal healing activation.
Why don't we organize an event with the three of you and the audience of Bridges of Light all together? We will mix the English and the Italian audience, and so we will do something very special.
Yes, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely brilliant. Yes, I'll ask the boys.
Yeah, please ask the boys. We had your husband come with to Stonehenge with us, you remember? And he played with us, so you know, it was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Daisy, the time is running out, so we had to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. We had a lot of people listening and watching, and more people will watch later. So I will let you go, but you know, I'm really, really happy that you've been with us, and I'm sure that all your episodes here on Bridges of Light will bring more and more people, because you know, we can feel your angelic energy anyway. So really thank you, Daisy, for being with us.
Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you here at Beltane. But of course, we have an empty calendar, so you can come before then.
Yeah, we will, for sure. As soon as they will allow us not to be on quarantine into England, whenever we come. So, by all means, we will come soon. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you to all of you that have followed us this afternoon. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.